Well, good evening. I'm not going to wait till midnight to do my video. I can actually do what I did with the video with I yeah, my friend from Australia. I always want to say her name wrong, and it's Eilish instead of I don't even know. Anyway, um, I'll probably not put the video up until later in the day. I mean, I was done way ahead of time yesterday in yesterday's video. So I'm going to just record before I go to bed. I just made that decision just a little bit ago here as I was getting ready for bed. The title of the video is The Winning Team. Oh, I still have Eilish's name on there. Um, and it's not, I didn't take her name off and just leave mine on there because she's not on this video. Anyway, The Winning Team is the title, and my blurb goes like this. Wow, early response in regard to my planned trip is really good. Some of that is measurable, some is simply the shift in my own consciousness. So many things in my life could never be brought to fruition. My greatest dreams and visions were left unfulfilled. Even my own spiritual community here in Florida seemed to abandon me for the most part. Yet in the other Melbourne, my Aussie friends seem willing to embrace me, bringing me the much needed psychological and spiritual healing needed at this time. While I still feel bad about the criminality of the U.S. system of banking, attorneys, false courts, and crooked politicians, I can see a shift that will bring us the truth and real justice required for us to build a world worth living for and in. Perhaps I am finally turning that long-awaited corner. Maybe the winning team will actually be the last becoming first. Here's Ron's PayPal link for those willing to help defray the costs of the trip. Anyway, yes, it has been a very interesting day. I'll put some negative news out first. One of my friends wrote to me and informed me that there's a whole group that forms and has a meeting online of Get Ron, Attack Ron. And it's led by my former friend from Hong Kong. And I was surprised to hear that news. So we need to pray for these people because they've got to find more meaning in life than attacking an old man that wants to make a positive difference in the world. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? If it doesn't make sense to you, then you don't need to watch my videos and you don't need to comment. You don't need to put unlike. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Let me do what I'm here to do. And you do what you're here to do, but it's not to attack me. I'm not attacking anybody else, and nobody else needs to attack me. Okay? But anyway, yes, I heard from Peter Van Runt, and that was just a little bit ago, actually. Eilish got in touch with him. And another good news is the Seekers have a family connection at Unity of Melbourne in Australia, which I found was quite interesting. That I actually have a family connection to the group that that have been lifting my spirits for the past couple months. And I've been listening to them over and over and over again. I was listening to them just before I talked to my friend in Arkansas recently, and she's concerned because I can't. The rental car thing is falling through. They won't accept credit cards, or I mean debit cards, and the one rental company that I had reserved wanted to know my destination, and they said, "Oh, we don't allow the cars to go outside of the state of Florida," which I think is absolutely ridiculous. And if I had gone and read the fine print, it might have said that, but I didn't. I certainly wasn't aware of that at all. Um, so I'm getting my own car. I tried some other rental companies, and they all have catch 22s, and uh, including age. Some of them don't want to rent to anybody over 65 years old. Uh, so, I'm going to get my own car checked, and my plan at this point, even though my friend in Arkansas said, don't, if that's the case, don't come, don't drive your own car. But that's the way that I'm leaning in this present moment. But the winning team ultimately is the team that wants to do good. And if that's not the winning team, then I've lived my life in vain. I've lived many lives in vain as a priest and as someone who has tried to bring forth the Melchizedek vision of a world that works for everybody. This is the Christed vision. This is the Buddhic vision. This is the vision of people of goodwill. And yet the world has been taken over by beings, people and others, of very ill will, that don't tell the truth, that don't live in integrity, that don't have any love or compassion in their souls. They live for the only purpose of greed and power lust. And that creates the world that we've all experienced. Is it the world that you want to live in? Or do you want to be on a winning team that actually brings good to pass and fulfills the promises in the world religions of creating a heaven on earth? It's not a heaven somewhere else. It's not the escape plan of the Illuminati. That's their religion. That here we're in control, and you're going to find your paradise in another world, in another kingdom somewhere else. Well, that's not what I understood the promise to be. The promise was to make heaven on earth. And that's what I've lived for. That's what I've been teaching. That's what I've been talking about. It's why I do daily videos. It's the whole thing is about turning things around so that we can have a world that is fair, a world that is just, a world where love can thrive, a world where people can make mistakes and be forgiven. It's not a world of control. It's not a world where our free will is taken away. Not at all. But it's not a world like we've known where our free will is taken away by those who do not wish us well, who want to stop us from being fulfilled, stop us from being happy, because the only way they can be happy is to make everybody else miserable. This is a sick, sick world, and it needs to be corrected. There needs to be a corrective in. Now, somebody sent me a thing that says, don't wish ill for anybody, not even the bad people. Just, it's more of the new age stuff that I'm trying to get rid of just believing, think positive thoughts and don't address the issues. Well, I'm sorry, we need to address the issues. The issues are not going to be self-corrected. They're going to be corrected when we recognize the reality of the world we live in and we rise above that mindset that creates the domination factor that creates the enslavement of humanity. That has to be brought to an end. And if we're involved because that's what we're calling for with our hearts. It's what I'm calling for. It's what those people of goodwill need to rise up, and we need to say to those that want to do evil things, no thank you. That's not the world I want to live in. That's not the world I create. I want to be on the winning team, and the winning team is the one that brings justice and peace and goodness back to the planet Earth so that we can thrive and no longer be slaves to an evil cabal, a corrupt mindseted people. I don't know if that's a word. But anyway, I appreciate your listening, and again, this video, I'll put it up sometime when I wake up. I usually always wake up around midnight anyway. So we'll put it up sometime around then. Thank you for listening. Namaste.